Be starting in just a second, just posting some links. And then I'm going to get started. So just give me another maybe minute or so, guys. Thanks. All right, good. So got my links out there. I've got the chat up. And so I'm starting out same way I have the last 3 or 4 characters. I have passed over a gold from some of my other characters and passed over some heal and mana potions. And I bypassed from the stream all the opening stuff, and I got to my class vendor here. So I'm going to quickly do this stuff here. Just wants me to throw down a turret. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my new weapons. So we're going to go pistol. And I'm going pistol because I have this legendary pistol at level 9, so why not? Now I'm not sure. Remarkable engineer hammer. Can you? I'm gonna buy this too because I'm not sure if you can dual wield with the engineer. But let's get some. We're gonna get one of all of this. As I said, since I've got other characters with gold, I always start out like this. If you're not, every class, has a vendor that sells level 3 stuff, and it's got all the stats on it and everything. So it's really the best stuff you're going to get for a while. So as you're leveling, even if it's a new character, you want to. Yeah, it is a little bit early, Luke, and I'll probably go for maybe an hour. Then I got to get the kids in bed. Hammer goes with it. Rifle's two-handed. So you've played the class a little bit. Perfect. Yep, I'm going to definitely go pistol. I'm not sure how I'm going to spec the abilities that I was reading through them a little bit, but I'll learn as I go. I like the path that's got the turret that taunts and takes damage. That seems like a viable path that I'm gonna try out for soloing at least. So let's equip that stuff real quick. And I also have to hotbar my potions. So we'll go ahead and equip all of this newfound stuff. And pistol and hammer. So I like that. Equip this. Assign here and here. This one we're just going to assign here. And then we are going to quickly sell all the junk we have left. Being very careful not to sell the legendary. Technically I should put that in the bank until I need it, but maybe in case I die. But I don't really plan on dying, so we'll see what happens. Hey United, what's up? Thanks for coming back. Just getting started. Level 3. We are all geared up. And we're ready to go to the next zone. And see how this guy works. Which path did you go with some of your abilities, Luke? Hopefully they come out with another round of the soft launch pretty soon. I definitely have noticed a Maybe it's just the holidays, but holidays are kind of over into New Year's, but not as many people running around leveling. I think a lot of people hit that cap, explored as much as they did or wanted to. Not everybody's going to go ahead and try, one of every class. Um, but I'm still experimenting, still looking for bugs. But yeah, hopefully they increase the level cap soon, open up, one more zone, get people back in. Nice, nice. Yeah, I like that turret build too. Is that the one with the shield? So you're not adding any damage to your what's the opening shot is opening skill is the aim shot. You're not adding anything to that to increase that damage. The infamous rat catcher. I see some hammer. So very similar, very similar play style to the witch hunter with the pistol and the sword. This guy instead uses a hammer. A rifle might be different. So is rifle all long range basically, and you do no melee up close? Because that could be interesting, I guess, if that's the case, then and if the turret, if you can get it really up there where it can actually tank stuff for you, and you're just at long range, just plugging away, that's kind of cool. Only problem, of course, is that turret that's all beefed up for taunting and whatnot isn't all that useful once you start to group up. Oh, dwarfs are the best, and they're the way they run. Anytime a character is lower level to the ground, they seem like they're running faster, which in this, no, I don't want to group up right now. I just want to see how he is solo. What level's your engineer? I just think it'd be hard to try and keep together on quests and stuff. Turret's one of those things that I don't know, it'd be interesting because again, unless you're fighting a three skull, the fights or higher, maybe a four or five, the fights are so fast that unless you're in a really populated area, you throw that thing down and the fight's over before it runs out. So I'm not sure how efficient it is. We shall see as we progress. Head back here because I know that'll be respawning in a second. Level 3, got it. Oh, you just started it just recently. Yeah, like I said, I think it'd be hard to keep synced up with the quests. And I think splitting experience, I think we both find that we weren't close enough to, we'd probably only be level 12 or 13 when we finished all the quests, and then we'd have to grind it out because we'd be splitting all that mob experience. And I don't know about you, but I don't really want to grind out 3 levels. I don't even like to grind out that last level, but a lot of times you kind of have to. What's your engineer's name? Pretty long recast time on the turret. I believe you can cool it down. There's a lot of things in the skill tree for the turret, so definitely might be a really viable build. So in some ways, it's kind of like a pet. It reminds me of like I think World of Warcraft. The mage class had pets. Of course, those followed you around, so you didn't have to constantly reapply it. Taking some early damage on this guy, we'll say that. Brogger. Oh, okay. I see you said that previously. Always got to do this fast travel quest, little side quest. Get that guy done. What do I got? 4 people watching. It's about average. Sometimes I get up to 6. I mean, it's hopefully this game really gains popularity. Hopefully once they're ready to launch, VR does some kind of advertising campaign. I mean, they've got a pretty big IP with the Warhammer name, so hopefully they can take advantage of it. Luke, would you say the rifle build um, does that kill quite a bit faster? And I tell you what, I'm actually going to. My goal with these characters is really to level the fastest I can, so I'm going to start building up aim shot. That seems to work pretty good. Oh, I still got 2 points I can. An extra 10% damage on that. Have you just done the one engineer, the one you just started, or have you already leveled one with pistol? I probably should put some stat points in. Got it. First engineer. Whoops. I'm going to figure out later what else I'm going to put it into. Probably go wounds. You know, anytime you got somebody that I don't know, I may save some until I gotta look at when I get that taunt shield turret, because that'll help determine how many hit points I have. But I also think the turret, if I remember reading it correctly, takes its how many hit points it has based off of how many hit points you have as a percentage or something. So I may be still maxing out wounds. That way the turret has the most hit points possible. Don't need to go see that vendor because that vendor is the Witch Hunter vendor. That's pretty good. Question is it better to max that out? And do you need that much? Or is it better to max out your DPS so you kill stuff faster? Because you got to figure you've got both the turret and then your hit points that thing's got to get through. And then you might be able to recast a turret. I think it's a 30-second cooldown. I saw they have a stun as well, but like every other class, it pales in comparison to the Archmage stun. It's only like 6 seconds. Always helpful, but not all that impressive. Hey, there you are. So you're not too far behind me right now as far as following the quest. Probably have to use a heal potion here pretty quick, even maybe now since I'm on this 2-star guy. Oh no, hopefully my turret. A crash this early is terrible. Come on, turret. Kill that guy. Before he kills me, I didn't have a lot of health. Maybe we will get lucky. Got another instance of blue stacks running. I'm going to shut that down. Save on that power, processing power. Maybe that was part of the problem. Brogger, come protect me, save me. Early deaths. No fun. Death by crash. What's the cooldown once you get it maxed? I mean, do you find that you're able to use the turret every fight, or are you having to go into a lot of fights without it? Here we go. We're loading in, waiting for the ARG. Yeah, they say when you die on load in. So let's see what happens. At least I won't have to repair yet, but still, always like to go through this thing with no deaths. But typically, it's the crashes that will get me. Definitely cannot go as late tonight. Turret build's more viable. United thinks as well. Oh yeah, let's Scarface. Scarface came in. Well, I may have already screwed up the turret build. Now, when you're talking about turret build, are you talking about putting ability points in it, or is there just a path that's more turret centric than another path? Let's run past this guy. I cannot challenge the Archmage for a lock. Increase duration from 20 to 35 seconds and decrease cooldown by 5 seconds. Yeah, the duration, I mean, I guess if you drop it in a, if you get into a fight with like 3 mobs or you drop it into a central location, I could see that helping, but most of the time you're fighting one mob and moving on. Of course, things will change down the road. Hopefully, you know, as you're leveling, fights are a little bit longer. Well, they definitely use turret to some capacity because you get the turret at level 3 regardless of what your spec is. It's got a pretty good range on it. That's good. Ooh, crowd control. I'll be checking that out because I like that. One of my favorite classes in an MMO ever was an EverQuest that was called the Enchanter class. Um, they had some really cool stuff. They had, I think it was called Mesmerize, and so it was a skill that if you pulled a bunch of mobs and nobody was hitting it, the Enchanter could mesmerize something. For those Celtic Heroes fans, it's kind of similar to Freeze, um, but you could actually keep 2 or 3 of them mesmerized at once. You could really control a crowd. They also had a slow. They had a slowing attack speed. Oh, I don't want to fight that guy right now. What else did they had? They had uh, a skill that would increase attack speed. So think of like haste. They had a skill that would increase mana regen or energy regen. In that game, it was called mana. And the most fun skill And then they could turn into other people too, so they could, you know, turn into different classes. They had one cool spell that it was basically wherever you would cast it, it would find a nearby object and turn you into that. So you could turn into a box, a piece of fruit, a tree, and then just kind of walk around. You couldn't fight in that mode. And then they had charm. So charm was the ability to take over any, almost any mob in the game, but there were some restrictions, and that was really fun. So you could get a enchanter with high charisma, charm some really high level bosses, give them a couple of uh, really low speed daggers, buff them up with the speed haste, and they would just rip through stuff. And you just had to stay far enough back that when it broke, you would. I think we might have had root too, so you could root it and then charm it and then start all over. But did a lot of cool stuff in that game with the enchanter class. Overburdened. I think I forgot to sell once I bought everything. Alright, what are we at? Level 7 already? Nice. And let's do some backtracking here. Turn in this quest. And I need to sell, and I need to do some stats and some abilities. Yeah, I don't need any of these since I have potions. Don't need these anymore. Don't sell the legendary. Not an upgrade. Rat meat. Not an upgrade. Alright, and so let's get into our character menu. I've been trying to hit the face icon up there, not the 3 lines, because I'm really hoping they get rid of the 3-line icon. I can't use this yet. Nope. Level 9. Stats. So we're going to max this out, of course. And then, nope. Nope. Wounds is always good. Focus. Increase effectiveness of your utility turret. Slightly increases physical damage. Oh, okay. Okay. So that is kind of like the mage, or the archmage, where it kind of can do both. Increases the effectiveness of your utility turrets. Is that all turrets? Damage turrets? Are they all the same? Are they all considered utility turrets? Well, whatever it is, let's crank it up. See if we can survive without health. And this, maybe I shouldn't have gone aim shot. This isn't quite as good as far as upgrades compared to, well, maybe it is because it's got no cooldowns, which it doesn't need it. It's already 6 seconds. So what do we got? We have 5, 10, 15, 25, 40%. Turret deployed deals an additional 25 damage. Alright, we're going with this. We're going all in. Oh, I need to learn that level 6 skill. So we are going all in with that first skill for damage. Alright, now let's see what we want to do. With intent to stun rather than kill, inflict stun on the target for 5 seconds. It's not a great stun, but I haven't been a fan of this skill. Every class has this skill on the right, and I don't think I've been a fan of it yet for any class. Just takes too long to build up. The scrap is what this one's called. So I'm going to go with the stun. Always good to be able to stop some damage. So that's what you can do to the stun. So it starts out with a 60-second cooldown, which I don't care for. Does a little bit of damage. 5-second stun plus, so 7, 12. Well, that's cooldown. So 7 seconds, 10 seconds. And then we can reduce the cooldown by 5, 30 seconds. So we can get down to a 30-second cooldown. Not great in my opinion. Why does this thing say it says 4 stat points available, but I just spent them? So I don't know what that's about. Should be level 9 here pretty quick. Probably maybe another 15 minutes or so. Get back on the path, killing stuff. Should go pretty quick. And then we get to put on our legendary pistol. And then we should be able to push through stuff pretty quick. Get those auto damage going. Best deals in town. I have to do this side quest, get the grain. Whoops. Get the grain, get the travel spot. So we're gonna head to the granary. Dwarves should definitely do a little flip in the air as their run animation. Let's make sure we're going the right way. And we're not. We gotta get... I can shortcut it. Let's go this way. Well, this is a shortcut, but now I'm fighting lower level stuff. Try that stun out when we get a 2-star on us, even though these guys are all pretty low level. Yeah, it's a pretty effective stun. I'm definitely glad I went that route. Long cooldown, but effective for fighting some 3-stars maybe later on. And if you get multiple things on you early on, little crowd control. 1 stars doesn't seem like it's, I keep saying stars, that's a Celtic Heroes thing. Skulls doesn't seem like it's worth throwing a turret down for those. Save it for some of these bigger guys like this guy here. Alright. Auto damage isn't great. I feel like it was definitely higher on the Witch Hunter, but I'd really have to go back to the video to watch and see. Halfway through 7. Get this fast travel done. Big time saver later on for sure. And yeah, I don't want to I'm not going to actually do that again right now. Maybe that isn't a fast travel. I don't think it is. So maybe I should be skipping that one when I level. Just a repeatable quest. Probably not even worth doing unless you do it so many times that it eventually changes into something else. Alright, so very similar playstyle to the Witch Hunter, at least with pistol and sword. Haven't experienced any other builds yet of the Witch Hunter, but you got that starting off with the pistol fire, then you go in for the kill with melee. I gotta check. I don't remember which one of these areas has the engineer vendor. It might be this guy right here, actually. Oh, this is the Slayer guy, I think. Yep, that's the Slayer guy. Alright, let's finish this off here. Probably hit level 8 doing this quest. So let's drop this down. We'll hit this guy with the stun. Oh, my turret pretty much killed him. Don't want to go that way. I want to go this way. turn in this quest. Might level on it. Let's see. Yep. Level 8. One level away from legendary pistol. Right here. This guy. Plus 21 damage. A lot of good stats on that guy. Health hasn't been a problem so far, so we're going to continue on with focus. Actually, I will do summon wounds because you always have those extra 4. And I'm not going to do anything with my action point just yet. Do we get a skill at level 8? I don't remember. Let's take a look. I think I could remember some of these things. Unlocks at level 9. Increases maximum energy. Yeah, I won't be putting any points into that. But I'll take the free 10%, I guess. I'd rather it be free damage of some sort. Tell you, I don't mind that stun. It comes in handy for some crowd control. Might be something to cool down in the future. My turret aggroed. You know, a cool mechanic would be if you could pick up your turret and it would reduce your cooldown, whatever cooldown you had left, reduce it to, you know, by like 50% or something. That turret's firing away at like 100 DPS or 100 damage per hit, which is pretty good. Pretty good extra damage for sure. Yeah, I might have to suggest that. Like I said, that even if they added a skill for it, it'd be pretty cool. But it's just a long cooldown. Or even if you could just pick it up and move it when it had time left. Like if I could just pick that up and put it just somewhere else. Definitely gonna go down that path where you can make the turret taunt for you. I like that. That seems quite useful, quite sexy. I like it. Let that guy take some hits for me. Oh, what is my controller doing here? Might as well kill this guy and make use of my turret since I dropped it. Alright, one more guy to kill. Oh, fast respawn. stun this first one. Bring this other one back into turret range. Oh, now we got a couple on us. Let's get a heal in. I think that guy went back and he was actually fighting my turret. So is it must already be taunting as long as it's the only thing on a mob. So that's pretty cool. Yes, I do need to kill this guy. Costa Rica, nice. I wish I was in Costa Rica. There is about a foot of snow outside here in upstate New York. It is cold and it is icy. Hitting the slopes tomorrow with my kids. Be the third time we've been able to ski already this year, which is good. All right, let's. Steven, if you haven't subscribed yet, really be grateful to you if you did. Trying to get those subscription numbers up. Get into the YouTube partner program so I can continue doing these streams long after all the way through the soft launch, into release, and hopefully it's a game that goes on for years and it's worth playing. And as long as people are watching, I'll continue to do streams. Thanks, Steven. Pretty new to the stream, and I don't know if it's pretty common for people to stream or subscribe when they join a stream or not. I know a lot of the content I watch, people are constantly telling people to subscribe, so must be a reason for that. Gonna hit level 9 here really quickly. In fact, I may just grind it out. Then we'll go into the city, turn in some quests, but we'll be able to equip our level 9 legendary. Kick that DPS up a little bit. Really be nice to get a legendary offhand and main hand. Which classes are you playing, Steven, so far in Warhammer, or have you not been able to play yet? And if you haven't, what classes you got your eye on so far? Let's see, quick sell here. Inventory management, definitely a big thing in the beta here. With only 20 inventory slots available and no way to get more. Huh, I've never noticed that before. If you're in the equipment vendor. So look what he's doing. He's buying stuff. So I'm going to sit here and as he's buying, new stuff comes up. So I want this to go away from all classes. And it's going to pop in, I think, at the bottom. Oh, it just refreshed too. So what he's doing is he's going through and buying all the low level stuff so that new stuff spawns. Trying to get a legendary in here. Looks like he's done. Let's see. Just now turning in. I've tried the rifle route for engineer. Is the hammer route decent as far as skills and deep? So far, Sean, I like it. It's very similar playstyle to the witch hunter. Um, so let me equip. There's not too much difference, I don't think, yet between rifle and. So we're gonna equip this legendary that I got on another character and transfer it over. Um, and that should really increase the DPS. Oh, Archmage is, yeah, go either just play it or go watch, my videos on my channel with the Archmage. Really, honestly, overpowered. I'd be surprised if it got into release exactly like it is now. It does easily the most damage of any class, has the most crowd control abilities of any class. The best, it's got a root at level 2 that holds pretty much until you kill everything. And it's got a stun that has a ridiculous cooldown, and it has a stun that I believe is got the least cooldown of any other class, and it also does the stun the longest. So there's just a lot of things with the class that make it really overpowered. Its auto damage from its weapon is pretty sick. Um, Now again, this is all based on 15 levels, so those things. A lot of times, mages or caster classes, their weapon damage or auto damage is decent very early on, and then as you get better and better weapons, theirs don't upgrade as much. So they tend to get to a point where their auto is kind of useless. But who knows if that'll be the case in this game? Yeah, right now they're the best class for soloing anything that's in the game currently. I mean, there's a couple others that can solo stuff, but I was easily soloing the 3 and the 4 stars with my Archmage as I came across them. I didn't have to like wait 4 or 5 levels and go back. Um, in a lot of classes, you get a 4 star or even the harder 3 stars, and you still can't solo it even when you're 15. So, um, yeah, it's a pretty fun class. It just decimates everything. Yeah, I still don't think everybody will. I mean, I will say I may have crashed here going into the sewers, but we'll give it another 15, 20 seconds since I'm talking anyway and reading. Um, I've thought I don't want to play an Archmage long term, but I have thought about going Archmage just to grind through the levels as fast as I can, and then basically taking gold and supplies from that character, giving it to a another character like a warrior priest, and helping that character level, and probably even dual boxing to where um, I follow him around with the archmage and heal him or something. But I haven't seen anything where you can actually. We're gonna have to close out here. I haven't seen anything where you can auto follow somebody, and I haven't. There's a trick in Celtic Heroes where basically you just cast a heal on the other person running, and they'll just keep following until they catch up. Hmm, that's not launching, so let's close this out entirely. And let's see, this is my third instance. Start it back up. So apologies. Unfortunately, I would crash when I have the most streamers or most people viewing. I've got 7 right now, which I think out of all my streams might be the max I've ever hit. So I did crash zoning into the sewers. Just equipped my legendary pistol at level 9. Haven't even killed anything with it yet because I crashed first time I went into the sewers to do the quest. Yeah, United Shadow Warrior. A few. I think it's been rotating a lot. There was a time where all you saw was archmages running around. Um, the first day, warrior priests were huge. It's like everybody thought that's going to be the class. Let's start out with that. Um, but now that it's been a few days, or what's it been, a week, um, uh, things are starting to balance out a little bit. People are trying different classes. Hey, John Smith, how are you? Yeah, Slayer was fun. I still have to finish leveling my Slayer. That was I don't know if you watched my stream on that one. What I did with the Slayer was I skipped all quests. I just pressed forward constantly all the way up to the North Gate. And by the time I got there, I was level 12. My goal was to get level 12 during that stream. Um, and now I have to go and back do all the quests. But it I got to level 12 in an hour, which was pretty quick. But it's proven to be a lot of time to go back and do all the quests. So because now I'm doing the quests and killing the mobs, but I'm not getting any experience for the mobs because I've out leveled them. So it's not recommended. It's just something I wanted to try. Just want to make sure I log in with the right character here. Yep. All right. So a little bit of a break. Up to 8 viewers. Wow, we're really cooking tonight. Anybody who hasn't subscribed yet, feel free. Yeah, Steven, I don't know. It definitely could be the emulator. On the emulator, I'm playing full graphics, all the way up to 1080 with everything pumped up. But I've also tried it with the graphics turned down and still crashed. I guess anybody on the stream play on an actual Android device? Can you comment on crashes? Do you actually crash on that as well? I definitely don't knock the game because of the crashes for those two reasons, right? I'm playing on an emulator because I don't have an Android device. I'm iOS, and and it's also soft launch, right? So United, you play on an actual Android, or you just okay? So Luke, you play on Android device, pretty decent one. Yeah, the dwarfs. That we were commenting on that earlier in the stream when I first started. I think Luke or United commented on how the dwarfs run with those little stubby legs. Reminds me of Lord of the Rings when Gimli says something like dwarfs are natural sprinters. Were lost on long distances. Something to that effect. Yeah, I mean Galaxy X9, S9, great device. Shouldn't have any problems. So if you're crashing on that, I'd say it's most likely the game, and they'll iron out those bugs eventually. I was saying, John Smith, that he should do a little flip. Back in the EverQuest days, there was a gnome class, and they did that every time they jumped. They did a little flip and a roll. It just made it a little bit more fun to jump. Once or twice, and all of the time you played, that's nothing. I normally crash, I don't know, 2 or 3 times when I'm leveling up to 15, if not a little bit more. And I'm streaming from another device too, so that's not playing into it either. So plenty of power on this laptop. I always give the disclaimer on the streams when you're in the sewers. You might be asking why am I not fast traveling, and that's because it costs 15 silver. Although now that I think about it, 15 silver isn't that much. Typically, I'm starting these characters out with 1 gold from the other classes to buy all the entry level equipment, and by the time I get to 15, each character normally has between 2.5 gold, depending on how many times I die and how many times I have to repair. I've talked about it before. This is my indicator that I'm not going to crash. Typically, when this slows down, it's not a crash. If it just keeps spinning, that's a crash. Level cap's 15. I'd say on average, after the first time you do it, I'd say it takes, depending on the class, between 2 and 3 hours to get to 15. Um, I have level 2 priest, 1 tank spec, 1 heal spec, archmage that was completely DPS, a witch hunter, a pistol witch hunter, um, a slayer that's level 13 that I got to finish up. Am I missing any classes? Because this is the last class I need to do. I've done all the others. Clayton, so when you say you speed run them, do you skip all the quests? I don't know, John. This is such a small slice of the game. I don't think that people are going to have any kind of a long-term advantage by playing the soft launch over people who don't. I mean, honestly, you could watch my streams. I'm not holding back any information. You could go into it and within after watching the streams within 5 minutes, know know just as much as the rest of us. Clayton, I like it. It's right now it's playing very similar to the Witch Hunter because I went pistol and sword on the Witch Hunter. It's got the extra turret, of course. It's got a stun. Um, and I'm gonna go down the turret path because I want that turret to be able to pull some aggro, take some hits for me. But yeah, right now it's playing very similar to the Witch Hunter at these early levels. Yeah, you do the side quest. Now, what about the story quests, the yellows? Do you skip those? You know, I was saying before that I did my Slayer up to level 12 without doing any quests. I just wanted to see how fast you could level that way, and I got him to level 12 in an hour, something like 59 minutes. But now he's level 13, and it's a grind to get the rest of the levels as I complete the quest because I'm not really getting much experience killing anything as I do all those quests. I'm not sure, Clayton. I haven't really looked at the skills in detail yet. I'm going to do that kind of as I go. I glanced over them, but I'm not sure which skills are the powder smith. Yeah, I have a feeling you're going to have to do the storyline quest. You know, you might not be able to get out of this zone if you don't complete all the storylines. And you know, it also makes a lot of sense to have the go finish this quest. Um, it makes sense to have all the flight pass as well. Well, I call them flight pass, but travel pass, whatever they are, called different things in different games. What I'm really interested to see is when they open up more of the sewers, what level they made all the mobs in the sewers. I mean, if they made them anything less than level 15, I don't see the sewers ever getting used because clearly you can get past level 15 with the main storyline and the side quests up top very easily. So it'd be a real shame if they had that whole zone under there if it was really low level stuff or lower than 15. Hopefully, once they open up the gates, it's level 15 plus. Otherwise, it's just wasted content. Hey, welcome back, Feet Stink. It's going good. Hey, we're up to 9 people, man. That's a record for me, so I really appreciate that. Good conversations, too, going on. I like it. I've been saying I think you were watching my Witch Hunter uh, stream yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever that was, and it's playing very similar to that. You start out with a pistol fire. You can lay down your turret if you need to, which does extra damage. And then after your initial pistol fire, you're going into melee with the hammer. I would say the hammer does not do as much damage as the Witch Hunter sword, which makes sense because the turret's adding another 100 or so damage per hit. Yeah, I think they're going to open more of the sewers. I mean, if you look at the map in the sewers, it's huge. But like I said, if they make the mistake of making those all lower level mobs, like the same kind of level range that's up above, it's just not going to get used. There's just no reason to go down there when you're just going to out level that stuff as you run through the city. See, I like that. Look at how my turret pulls that aggro and keeps. Not only did he keep the guy off me, he just killed him. Um, I tell you, I am really liking the engineers so far. That turret just gives it another dynamic over what every other class has. Now that could be a problem. You got to be careful there. He actually pulled 2 miles. Look at, I mean, that was. These are what level are these? These are pretty low level, I think. Yeah, but he took them out pretty quick. Whoops. Um, Clayton, definitely a tough question. Which level do I favor most? Endgame, I really want to be a tank. I kind of want to control that aspect of the game, make sure it's done right. I didn't do that in Celtic Heroes. I kind of regretted it. Um, Archmage is fun, man, because they're so overpowered. They can do a lot, but it's so early. A lot of times I'll play a ranger in a game, and that'd be the Shadow Warrior with the bow. I did level a Shadow Warrior with a bow. Found it kind of underwhelming, at least at on the initial levels. I didn't try the sword spec. That could be interesting, but I think it's a tough class to solo um, any of the higher level bosses that you may encounter as you're leveling up, or not really higher level, but the 3 and 4 skulls that you encounter. Probably a good group class as it can just sit back and fire away. But it really doesn't have a lot of range either. The bow range is really small comparatively. Yeah, you got to take the engineer right now with a grain of salt because I did give it a legendary weapon that I got from another character, so it's probably adding a little bit of damage. But yeah, I am really digging the turret mechanic. We're really gonna explore that path. And I like that it has my favorite animation, which is the pistol fire. Just the execution style right up in the face. Yeah, Luke, I would agree. I think it makes sense. It'll be 15 plus in the sewers. Figgle's Cave vibes, John Smith from Celtic. John, do I know you in Celtics? Are you from Erewhon? Are you in Dawn? Or are you from a different server? I'd be interested to know if this zone um, is bigger too once release comes. And this is a cool concept, this little mini zone. You know, maybe if they have a bunch of these, that's going to be cool. What would have been really cool though is if these little mini zones would quest if they were instants, you know, just to show off that they had the technology for instances. And if you're not sure what instances mean, it means when I zone in here, it's just for me, with nobody else in the zone, and they're great for dungeons, can be great for end game content. You know, you want some open world content for competition, but having some end game content where it's instant, so that you know a dominant clan can't ruin the experience for other people, I think would be cool. Oh, I forgot. I was gonna look and see for that spider quest. A lot of times the hammer, yep, is a little bit better than the one you started with. I'll wait and stat up when I get to level 10, which once I get out of here, we'll go a little bit faster. This is a weird side quest too. I feel like they should give this to you earlier. You know, you're all I did was basically run from quest to quest, and you know, I'm level 9. I didn't really spend too much time fighting stuff outside of just killing and moving along the roads. But you have to go through this whole quest, um, fighting stuff below your level. It is cool though. I do wish you could get in the water. Oh, actually, yeah. So you can a little bit, and then you. One of the things I talked about a little bit yesterday, you know, back in the EverQuest days, it was really cool. You could get in the water and you could start swimming, and you could swim for hours. And there was stuff out there to find. There was islands out there to find. Most of them, if you took the boat would pass them, and you could see them, jump off the ship, and go explore them and find things on them. Whether they were high level mobs that you couldn't kill for another 2 months until you maxed out level and got some gear, or just a place to kill stuff and level up. But just a really cool way to explore. You could dive down in the water, and then we're talking 20 years ago here too. You could dive down in the water, and then you only had a certain amount of breath. A little bar would come up as your breath started to expire, and then you'd have to go up. Later in the game, they had classes that had, I think it was the druid and maybe the shaman had the ability to breathe underwater when they cast a spell, and they had underwater zones. So if you weren't one of those classes, you'd have to go into those zones with them, so they could keep the breathing thing on you. But just pretty cool to have that other way to experience content by being underwater. Let's see, where do I need to go next? I think No, I forgot. I am in export. So let's go here and see where we have to go. Do the little sign of the cross. Hopefully don't crash. I gotta see what time it is. What is it? 9:07. I've got to go put one of my kids in bed here pretty quick. So I might get to level 10 and then call it quits and then come back in a little bit, start up the stream again. I could let it go, but then I'd have to edit the video, and I'm not great at YouTube Studio yet. And I'm not sure how long it's going to take me either, so probably get to level 10 here pretty quick, and then end the stream for now and fire it back up maybe in another half hour or so. And I may grind it all the way out to level 15 tonight. I was just thinking I must not be too excited about that level 9 skill because I haven't even spec'd it yet. I mean, I clearly don't need energy with this build. Level 9 skill gives you extra energy, 5% or something. Nice, Luke. Yeah. Did you are you testing to see the whole cooldown thing? If it resets when you put a second mark on? What Luke and I were talking about for the others, the Witch Hunter has a skill called Mark. Oh, man. This happens at least once a stream where I'm just going around killing, I'm talking, and I don't notice my hit points. And then I go into a mob without healing and get wrecked. So there was my one for this one. So they got this thing called Mark, and what it does is it decreases the, if you get one mark on, it decreases the, I think, armor by 10%, and something else by 10%, resist maybe. And then you've got other skills down the road, down the line that take from the marks and do things like make criticals and stuff. And then you can start stacking them as well later on. You can stack, I think, up to 5. But the problem we saw was it's got the ability to cast Mark, I think, has like a 30-second cooldown. And I think you could cool it down to, you could get it down with skills down to 20 seconds, if I remember right. And then, but a mark gets worn off after 14 seconds. So you put a mark on, if you don't use it, after 14 seconds it's gone. So what we weren't sure of is, lost my train of thought, but we weren't sure if every time you put a new mark on, if it resets that cooldown timer. Not cooldown timer, but apply timer, I guess we could call it. Otherwise, you'd never be able to get up to 5 or 6 marks. You'd never be able to get past 2. And there's a whole skill line really dedicated to being able to stack them. But I also think you're using them with other skills too, so I don't see why you would ever want to save up 5 or 6 unless you're, I was going to say unless you were on an endgame boss, but it says the debuffs it does with the marks only affects you. It doesn't affect everybody else. So even on a raid where a boss fight's going to be long, it's only going to help you. It's not going to help everybody else. So I'm not sure. Yeah, Clayton, I could do it that way. I'm not. I can turn up the sound. I just realized I'm not in full screen here, so let me do that. But if I turn up the sound, you should be able to hear it a little bit better on my mic, but I don't really want to have to talk over it. I need to turn off this grain quest real quick. Quest. Classes for main. I like the idea of the warrior priest long term, but archmage, if I just want to level as fast as possible, would be my choice, at least right now, from what I know. And then so far, I'm really liking this engineer. I would say between engineer, witch hunter, and shadow warrior, I am digging the engineer the best because of that turret and just the extra kind of dimension that's adding to what you can do. Let me know if you can hear the game sounds a little bit better on the stream. Like I said, I could route the audio that way. Maybe I'll do that on the next stream. I think what I'm going to do when the game comes out for iOS, there's a technology called NDI, which will allow me to basically stream my iOS device over my wireless network into my encoder. And that way I can still play on my iOS device and stream at the same time rather than having to play on an emulator and stream. So I haven't used that before because I never needed it, and it's a paid-for software, but it's like $12 or something, $10, and then you can use as much as you want. So I will be getting that. That way I'm streaming directly from my iOS device. If I'm not commentating, I won't even necessarily need to be even near my encoder. I'll be able to play anywhere in the house and stream. Oh, I guess I got enough of these. Was that the? Is that the grains? Yeah, I don't want to do that right now. Just notice I got level 10. Oh, somebody attacked me. At least when you go into this screen on the engineer, you can drop a turret and you can be somewhat safe for a minute. I gotta get my kid in bed, so I'm actually gonna get into a safe spot here. I'm gonna end the stream. Probably be back in another half an hour, and I will post a link in the chats, and hope to see you guys back. We'll finish it up. Let's just look real quick. Let me restat so I don't forget when we come back. And we're going all weapon and focus right now. I don't think the engineer is going to need a lot of hit points with that turret being able to taunt later on. So I'm really focused on damage. Cool, yeah, definitely. And more content, the better. We need to get awareness out for this game. I'm pretty much going everything into this aim shot. So I'll save all the rest of my AP, I think, to get that extra 15%. We'll see when I get down the line here. Let's see. So learn action for more energy. Specialization. Let's hit this up real quick. So powder. Some members of the engineering guilds often find their path leads to that of the powder smiths. These are dangerous mavericks by their more conservative brethren. They have a fascination and an uncanny affinity with black powder, particularly with developing incentive ways to make it combust. Is the powder smith more of a DPS? Machinesmiths of the dwarf engineering guilds have proven themselves to have particular aptitude for the construction of maintenance of all manner of machinery. Cool under pressure, they are steadfast in their support for their allies, always seeming to have the right gadget for the job. Both use hammer. Alright, so construct a turret that taunts enemies and reflects incoming damage to its attackers. Cooldown 30 seconds. That is one thing I did forget, is that the turret gets 60% of my stats. Now, is that just my health, or is that my health and damage? The more health I have, the more health it has. And it lasts 15 seconds. Extends turret duration, so by 5 seconds. Increases turret stats by 10%. Let's see. Increases maximum health of your turrets. Why does it have two? This seems buggy, right? Because it's showing shield wall and then upgrade turret. Not sure the difference between those two. Ensnaring target. Construct a snaring turret. So these are different turrets that you can... Can you lay down more than one turret at once? Well, choose a specialty. I'm still going to go machine. Definitely interested to know if you can lay down more than one turret, or if... Because that sucks if you... You can lay down 2 turrets for 10 seconds. And do you have the shield turret? The shield wall turret? Because that says it lasts 15 seconds. They both last 15 seconds. I see what you mean. So by the time you put the other one down, the other one's got 10 seconds left or so. Alright, anyway, gotta end it. And I will be back.